I thought, real quick, I thought, obviously it was a good team win. We did a lot of things well tonight that, statistically we talk about. And, you're always adjusting and getting used to the short week schedule when you're at home, the short week schedule when you're on the road. We talked all week about a fast start. I thought they handled the mental part of it relative to it's just easy to complain on a short week, and then pretty soon no one really cares. So I thought our preparation for those 2 days was good. I didn't want to go through all the stats with them, but first half leads, I've said this, I think I said it to you guys, fare better for those teams. And then, I think for me, I know I wasn't going to tell them that, my teams are us. We were 5-0 with a lead and 0-5 when we didn't have one. That's the last thing I wanted to mention to them. But I thought we ran the ball well, of course. Defensively, man, we had pressure. They're nicked up. And I told DA get healthy because they have a good football team, and there are a lot of their players right now weren't able to play. So, but overall, pleased with how we played.
Even though they're nicked up, there's no feeling sorry for teams in the NFL.
No, listen, it's just the business we're in, and you just play. You have injuries. It's really the truth. No one else outside the building, cares. They just, at the end of the day, they want to see the end result, and I understand it.
The broadcast showed you receiving the game ball. What did that mean to you?
Meant a lot. I think, fortunately, and I say this respectfully, I mean, it was just 2 days of prep, and we're here, and so not a lot of sleep, and so it kind of, I think, it keeps your mind off of it because there's so many things you have to get done. And my big concern was just not having enough rest. And so I slept today for a while and then came over here early just to kind of get started going through the game plan again. But it meant a lot because, there were a lot of, moments here, and you get a chance to see old players that are here, and then to be with this team and this ownership group. It's the reason you miss it. The 1 year out, and you miss relationships, and you miss making memories. It's like I told him a couple weeks ago, Surtan's interception, right in front of our bench. There'll be a day when I don't remember his name, and, I'm having applesauce out of a straw, but I'll remember that play. And so that part of it, being around young people and having a chance to be part of their journey and coach them is a pretty good job, and I'm thankful for it. So, it was kind of emotional.
So how different was it just walking in this building, driving up and all?
Well, this building's changed over the years. One time, I think, I was an assistant with the Cowboys. We played here. The locker room used to be, you used to walk across the field. I'd never really been in the visitors' locker room here, and it's all been, again, renovated. Every time they have a Super Bowl here, there's modifications. So it was definitely. I'm glad I was here early, like 6 hours before the game early, and just had plenty of time to grab some coffee and. But yeah, I think what happened here, and I'm going all the way back in 2005, before any of us had arrived. A lot changed with that city, and I think more than any one of us, any player, any coach that was a part of the 06 and on, it was bigger than football. There were schools, hospitals not open. There were a lot of things that were up in the air, and so you appreciate those people that came when when they didn't necessarily have to. And I think that was a unique time and a unique – none of us were prepared for that. We were all anxious and excited about our new job opportunities, but none of us understood what it would mean and how big it would become. So I think that part of it coming back here is different and kind of special.
Was it even more emotional that Drew was here on a night they're honoring?
Yeah, I was at – look, he long before – when the game came out, is the night that he wanted to come in. They have a Hall of Fame, and then they have, a ring of honor. So he was being put in their Hall of Fame. And so it was good to see him. I mean, we had a chance, Streep, a few of us, like really quick went over to the Hilton and just thanked him. We were all kind of underdressed in our travel sweats. This is a city that dresses up a lot. And but it's always good to see him. I feel like we've seen each other quite a bit. He's been to our practices, and so, but anytime you see that whole group, even pregame, yapping a little bit at us, that was fun.
Do you ever think that, with it being 8 years in between visits and you're in the AFC, that this could be the last time you ever coach in this place?
I don't think it's the last time I'm ever going to coach in this place. Yeah. This is the last team I hadn't beaten.
You talked about getting off to a fast start. How important was it getting off to a fast start, running the ball, and how good was Javonte Williams tonight?
Man, he had to have been good. I didn't see all the numbers, but we actually were going to come out throwing early, mixing in the run, the read option, some of the RPOs. Bo did a real good job. We got a penalty called on one that I've just never – it was an impossible penalty. He threw the ball to Bailey in 0.5 seconds, and they called someone downfield. It can't happen. I mean, it's just an impossibility. But anyway, I thought all of that clicked. We blocked them, and you get a sense right away how you're matching up. And then really from the late second quarter, third quarter on, it was pressure. And so we got a lot more zone tonight from this team. I think probably to keep more eyes on Bo relative to his ability to scramble when teams are playing man. But he did a good job with his feet. Javonte, had some real good runs. All of them, those guys blocked him. When you have a night like that rushing, the time of possession, the script was flipped a little from last week. And so fortunately for our defense, they got some rest.
You said
Go ahead.
all of it was clicking on offense. You scored 6 straight possessions in the middle.
Yeah, we kicked too many field goals, though, but go ahead.
Is this the ideal offense? When you picture the offense?
There's no – we're building. We're figuring it out. But I would say this respectfully to the question. You just have to work on how to win that game. In other words, you don't take and say this is how we're going to play regardless. And so, based on who we were playing tonight, that's what we felt like we needed to do to win that game. That might change a week from now. But, man, certainly the reps our young quarterback's getting, the young receivers are getting. We're young as a team, and so that's invaluable.
I was going to ask sort of some similar line. How, during the season, how much can you continue to refine sort of what it is that?
Yeah, a lot. And like what we're good at, and then how we approach it, how we present it. That's what you think about a lot as a coach. Like, all right, are we doing the things not just that suit our players defensively, offensively, or in the kicking game? And so it's a work in progress, and it was a good step tonight.
It was also a bit of a homecoming for BJ. He's from New Orleans. Just what
Man, there was a number of people. So VJ's from here. There were a number of people that are from here. Bidet showed me a picture. His family relocated after Katrina from here to Maryland. And he showed me a picture of his dad. He was 12 years old with the Saints jersey on at training camp. And that's when, you feel older, and so there's a number of players that are from this region, and a number of people that have been here. And it's a good win for all those guys.
You know, I was starting to ask about the defense.
They were great.
So did you get into restaurants up yet?
I haven't. Man, I just can't. I mean, it's hard to explain the schedule on a Thursday game. And there's a lot of texts and calls to return, but you really just have to get your tickets squared away and then just grind. And that's why, sleeping, this morning was important for me at least, and then getting here early and then really, kind of getting ready for the game. And we'll have more time maybe after it all calms down.
Connor and Megan wanted to come to this game because they're growing up here.
Well, yeah, they came. Shoot, they were I think 6 and 9. They've been to over 150 games here, but they'll probably see 5 games a year. But this was definitely a game they were going to come to. We used to play touch football after the games were over, win, lose, or draw with the kids, and then. The problem was the visiting locker room players would come out, and it was like you had to stop and wait. There were certain things we just did for families that we felt were important. So they kind of grew up here. Yeah.
Especially with how late your bye week is, do you do extra self-scout? Like, do you use this little break in that regard, or is it more just about getting
Well, we're always – it's a great question. We are always updated to what we are, who we are self-scout wise. Like it's constant, like, all right, this personnel grouping, like, because you don't want to get into the 80s or 90s. You want to be into the 70s or lower. If you're in this, you do that. And so that used to be much more difficult to do or keep track of, and it's much more easier now to have the data available and then to try to, all right, put out heavy and throw it, put out light, and it's easier to do that. For the players, I think the rest is important. I think the same for the coaches.
Coach, you said you were pleased with the way Bo played without obviously watching the film.
Yeah.
What's that?
Man, I made this comment to you guys earlier when we drafted him. You watch him play, you don't feel like you're in harm's way. Again, he's tough to sack. His ball location, made a lot of plays with his feet. Had some close, big play opportunities. But there's a confidence that as a play caller you get, and it allows you to be more aggressive. And so we wanted to tonight, come out in that kind of a mindset. These guys, when healthy, are really good at both corners and the nickel. That was one of the challenges. Those 3 players, and a lot of them got hurt. But certainly when you're playing that position, and I'm talking about quarterback, and you have the rushing numbers and the down and distance numbers. I can't recall looking down. And there's 4 sections, 5 third down sections, 3rd and 1, short yardage, and then there's these. And I can't recall the 4th box tonight at all. I don't think we ran a play from our longer yardage box, and makes it easier.
Coach, as someone who has experienced both highs and lows
Sure.
in the city, what could you say to the Saints fans who are maybe growing increasingly frustrated with, say, Coach Allen or the staff? Or
Yeah, I think this. I think I would start with the leadership and the ownership, Ms. Gale and Mickey, and obviously, certainly with Dennis, that leadership group. You guys all saw how they played early in the season before they got hit with the injury bug. They were, 2 good wins in a row. So, there's so much game. There's so many games ahead of us now. They'll bounce back.